It actually took a very tough beating to get me out of the sport.
By Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao. I mean, he beat the hell out of me. Manny Pacquiao would be right in front of me. He would, after hitting me 15 times, and then I would be ready to hit him, and he would be wide open, and I couldn't pull the trigger. I just couldn't pull the trigger.
Oscar, you got a comeback. He's coming back.
Yeah, 40 seconds. Thank you.
In a WBC title at 147.
Thank you so much.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him.
Can you do
What are
it?
they?
Quadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely.
That's a Mexican
Manny
guy. Quadra.
Pacquiao's
Oscar needs
he's a legend, you know.
some nice ones. Thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but
He's 46. He hasn't stepped into a ring in nearly 4 years. His last fight ended in defeat, and yet here he is, not gearing up for an exhibition, but marching straight into a world title bout. On paper, Manny Pacquiao's return looks absurd, but boxing was never about paper with Pacquiao. He's the storm that brews in the final rounds, the blur of fists you never quite see coming. A man who built his name not by avoiding danger, but by inviting it. And now, he's up against Mario Barrios, 13 years younger, in his prime, and holding the WBC welterweight crown. Most legends wouldn't dare. Pacquiao, he demanded it. So when Oscar de la Hoya told Barrios to think twice, it wasn't smack talk. It was a veteran's warning. This isn't a comeback. It's a mission. When Pacquiao announced his return, the reaction wasn't celebration, it was disbelief. He hadn't fought since 2021. He was 46, deeply involved in politics, and presumed done. Then came the shocker. July 19th, Las Vegas. No tune-up, no soft landing. Just straight into the lion's den against a champion in his prime. In his absence, boxing moved on. New kings emerged, new belts changed hands. Pacquiao stayed silent, serving, watching. No training clips, no media circus. The world mistook that silence for retirement. But Manny's silence has never meant surrender. He doesn't need lights or applause to grind. He trains because movement is his nature. And even now, the hands are fast, the vision sharp, the rhythm unpredictable. Every now and then, a grainy clip would leak 15 seconds, no sound. Just Pacquiao moving like time hadn't touched him. And fans began to ask the question they were afraid to. What if he's not done? Then came whispers, then the confirmation. He wasn't watching, he was waiting. And now he's stepping back not to relive the past, but to rewrite the ending. Because this isn't nostalgia, this is legacy reloaded. He doesn't need more accolades, he's already the only 8-division champ in history. Already secured as fighter of the decade, already a Hall of Famer. So why risk it all again? Because legends don't rest, and one more win could change how the world sees age, greatness, and the future of boxing. Yes, the risk is massive. No matter how great you were, Father Time keeps his schedule. Pacquiao won't enter that ring with the same speed or durability. He's older, slower, and coming in cold. But that's exactly where he's always been the most dangerous. Pacquiao doesn't just survive when the odds are against him, he thrives. This return isn't about proving something to us. It's about finishing a story he still believes is incomplete, and in the spotlight of Las Vegas, where the lights never blink and the pressure never lets up, Manny Pacquiao walks in not as a has-been but as a storm that never fully passed. Pacquiao's record reads like fiction: 62 wins, 8 weight divisions, 26 knockouts. He wasn't supposed to terrorize featherweights, let alone welterweights. But he defied logic and destroyed timelines. Names like Barrera, Morales, Cotto, and Thurman all fell to the whirlwind. But this isn't 2010, it's 2025, and reality hits hard. When he last fought in 2021, he didn't look terrible, but he didn't look like the Pacquiao either. Yordenis Ugas wasn't superior, just younger, crisper, and that was enough. Pacquiao took the loss like a warrior, but it was clear the reflexes had slowed. Now, can a 46-year-old truly come back sharper? Even legends slow down. Ali did. Leonard, Roy Jones. Greatness delays the inevitable, but it never defeats it. Pacquiao once moved like a glitch in the Matrix, too fast to follow. But now the question isn't about how fast he is. It's whether that speed can still matter if the legs don't fire like they used to. And it's not just about speed. It's about rhythm, muscle memory, timing. The kind you only keep sharp through constant battle, for years out. That's not rust, that's a total recalibration. Barrios won't give him time, and Pacquiao will have to answer in real time whether instinct is enough when everything else fades. But this is where it could all turn. Pacquiao never needed brute force. He wins with movement, illusion, and rhythm disguised as chaos. He doesn't punch. His way in, he dances you into a trap, overwhelms you in bursts you can't read. If that sixth sense is still intact, if the timing and space control remain, then even at 46, he may still be too much for Barrios, a fighter who's never faced this level of unpredictability. Pacquiao doesn't have to be the 2010 version of himself. He just has to be smart, sharp, and relentless enough to make Barrios question himself. And in this game, one round of doubt can rewrite a fight. Mario El Azteca Barrios isn't just some young belt holder. He's the current WBC welterweight champion for a reason. With 29 wins and only 2 losses, he's entering his peak at 30 years old. Tall, disciplined, and dangerous. He doesn't overwhelm you with flash. He breaks you down methodically. A jab here, a body shot there over time. You crack. Since moving up to welterweight, he's become more mature, more focused. Gone is the wild puncher from 140. In his place is a tactician, with patience, poise, and a plan. Barrios knows exactly who he is and he's fighting like it. But Pacquiao is not textbook. He's a puzzle no one has solved the same way twice. He moves like a riddle, front and center one moment, circling and unloading from nowhere. The next. That's what makes this fight dangerous. Barrios has never dealt with this type of pressure, this kind of speed, this kind of precision, especially not from a fighter with 0 to prove and everything to gain. And yet Barrios isn't walking in blind. He understands the weight of this moment. He's honored. Yes, but not here for ceremony. He's here to win. Because beating Pacquiao? That's not just a victory. That's immortality. Barrios has youth. He has reach. He has momentum. But none of that matters if he can't handle what's coming. He's not just stepping into the ring with a man, he's stepping into the eye of a storm. And if there's one man who knows that storm intimately, it's Oscar de la Hoya. In 2008, he entered the ring against Pacquiao, a heavy favorite, bigger, stronger, decorated. He ended that night sitting on a stool, broken. Pacquiao didn't just beat him, he dismantled him. So when De La Hoya tells Barrios to be cautious, he speaks from pain, not hype. He knows what it's like to underestimate the impossible. And De La Hoya isn't the only one sounding the alarm. Trainers, legends, insiders, they all see the danger. On paper, Barrios should win, but it feels like a trap. Pacquiao doesn't train like he's nearing 50. He trains like he's preparing for war. He doesn't think survival, he thinks domination. And if his legs can hold for even 6 or 7 rounds, Barrios could find himself in deep, uncharted waters. Then comes the mental war. Barrios is the champ, but all eyes are on Pacquiao. The crowd, the media, the energy, they'll all lean toward Manny. And in those heavy moments, hesitation creeps in. Even Barrios' camp isn't sleeping on this. They're not calling it a farewell tour, they're calling it war prep. Because they know, if Pacquiao shows up at even 70%, this isn't a title defense. It's survival. When legends return with nothing to lose, the script rarely goes how it's supposed to. That's not hype, it's history. And inside Pacquiao's camp, no illusions, no nostalgia, just calculated aggression. No one's pretending this is the same fighter who walked through Margarito or Thurman. This version, he's built for precision, not pace, for traps, not sprints. His trainer Buboy Fernandez made it clear, we're not here for a payday. We're here to win. They've dissected Barrios' jab, his timing, his weaknesses. They've tailored sparring partners to mimic his frame. Pacquiao isn't looking to dominate 12 rounds. He's aiming for key moments. Controlled burst. One clean flurry. The kind that swayed judges in tilt rounds. He knows he won't win them all. He doesn't have to. He just needs to land the right shots in the right rounds in front of the right eyes. Buboy said it best. They think Manny is done, they're wrong. That tells you everything. They're not chasing nostalgia. They're chasing legacy. One more win. One more shock to the system. The moment the news hit Pacquiao's comeback, social media erupted. Twitter, YouTube, forums, everyone had a take. Some celebrated, others panicked. In the Philippines, the faithful rallied instantly. But critics were just as loud. Too old, they said. Too dangerous. And they're not wrong. Barrios isn't a warm-up. But that tension, that split in belief is what makes this moment electric. No press conference chaos. No gimmicks, just a real fight. A dangerous fight, a legend chasing one last peak, and a champion trying to prove he belongs on the mountain. And everyone, hardcore and casual alike, will be watching, because that's what Pacquiao does. He doesn't just fight, he creates moments. And Barrios knows he's not just facing a man, he's facing a memory, a myth, a moment. If Pacquiao wins, it's not just a comeback, it's history rewritten. He'd become the oldest WBC welterweight champion in history. This isn't a spectacle, it's a seismic shift. Most comebacks are ceremonial. This one, it changes the landscape, suddenly. Contenders want their shot, Ennis, Ortiz, even Crawford and Spence. This wouldn't end on July 19th. It would start something massive, and maybe, just maybe, start the final chapter for real. A win could reopen doors once thought closed. You guys, a rematch, Mayweather? Whispers, because what follows history? More history. This isn't about nostalgia. It's about proof. It says to every aging fighter, skill still matters. Experience still counts. And if you're sharp enough, the rules don't apply. Pacquiao already is everything. But this win, it would redefine everything. Forget Brady. Forget LeBron. This would be box.